Hello, people. So now let us do the last amendments, people. These are not so very important. Certain places some changes are there, but I'll tell you wherever the important ones are. So just mark that and go more than sufficient. Very small amendments going forward. Sir, what is the first amendment, sir? Under Companies Act, in the chapter, people, your meeting of board and its power. What is that, people? We had something called as, people, certain matters which cannot be discussed under board meeting. Yes, if you remember, there was something called as Rule 4. I hope you guys remember. So if you remember this part, certain matters which cannot be dealt within a meeting through its electronic mode. So whatever these things, people, annual financial statements, board report, prospectus, audit committee. So what used to happen, people, during COVID-19, obviously these things was not an exception. You had to conduct it through electronic meeting itself. You didn't have an option. So they had relaxed this. You can conduct this meetings even during your COVID. During COVID, they said you can do these things even through electronic mode. It was allowed. After COVID, they felt when we were able to do it for 2 years, why not again? So they permanently removed this Rule 4. Now these things can also be discussed in a electronic meeting, that is your video conference. It is allowed. That is what is the first amendment, people. See, the Rule 4 shall be omitted, so indirectly that is removed. So those items can also be discussed in a video conference. It is allowed. Clear? Simple one. That is your first amendment. Next one, people. Okay, so companies incorporated outside India. Okay, don't have that file. So people, so very simple, people, nothing but there was section 387 to 392. These particular, both are inclusive: 387, 389, 390, 391, 392. So people, these 5 sections, they are not applicable to foreign companies and companies incorporated or proposed to be incorporated outside India. Whether they have a company has or not established, when formed, may or may not establish a place of business in India. So basically, what are these, people? If at all you're, in so far as they relate to the offering of subscription in the securities requirement relating to prospectus and all matters incidental thereto in IFSC. What is this, people? So basically you can think like this, people. A company which is issuing prospectus through IFSC companies and a foreign company issuing prospectus, for them, people, this 387 to 392, which was again regarding prospectus only, they are telling people these provisions are not applicable to these companies. They are exempted, which is not very major in nature, people. It was like minor only, not very major in nature, but just remember that. That's all. That is what is your amendment. Next one, sir. Okay, this is again that IFSC thing only. Where is this? Okay. Next one, sir. In independent directorship, people. Now, they have made something called as in independent director, they have introduced one provision, sir. What is that, sir? If you guys remember, people, when we did independent director, I told you something about, data bank which has to be maintained for independent directors, if you remember. Yes, people. So there was something called as, people, manner of selection of independent director and maintenance of data bank of independent director. Now, what are those, people? There was in the class also I told you this. What is this? I've added this part. Now, what is this exactly talking about, people? Whenever you're an independent director, or imagine there was a regulation which was brought in that going forward, if at all you want to be an independent director, now they have started one academy institute called as IICA. So going forward, if you want to become an independent director, you need to apply to this particular institute that you are interested to be become an independent director. This IICA maintains one data bank, people. They maintain one data bank. So if at all you let them know, if you apply, your name will be added to this data bank. Sir, what if my name is added to data bank? People, this data bank will be available and visible on the MCA website. So tomorrow, if there are any companies interested to appoint an independent director, they will take the names which are appearing in this data bank, so that it is easy for them even to know what is your experience. So all those details will be mentioned. What is your name, age, experience, what is your profession, everything will be mentioned. So people, it will be easy for the companies to take your names also and to appoint you as an independent director of their company. That was the intention. Now, sir, is it mandatory for your name to be included here? Yes, people, it is mandatory. Now, regarding this, people, some points has been added, something has been given as an amendment. Now, what is that? We'll see. But till now, I hope it is clear. Data bank, addition of your name, you need to clear exam. What is the timeline you need to clear? That is what we'll see. Now, see, people. First one, sir. So you will have to give your name, data bank of persons. Yes, sir. Now, who will do that, sir? That is called IICA. That is the agency that is maintaining all that. Okay. So see, all these details will be maintained. Details of the independent director, DIN, PAN, a full name, your occupation, nationality, everything will be given, people. Okay. Okay. This we have seen. See, sir, enrollment in data bank of independent director. How to get it here? See, a person who has been appointed as an independent director, when this rules came into picture, this rules came into picture on 1st December 2019. So by then there were already independent directors. So who is already appointed within a period of 13 months from this rules, they had to write and they had to enroll themselves on this IICA data bank. Okay, IICA stands for, sir, Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, for inclusion of his name in the data bank. You had to write, you didn't have a choice. But there is a relaxation given. What is that? We'll see. Sir, next one, every individual whose name has been so included in the data bank. Sir, now for people who were already existing, they have to write. Now going forward also, people, you have to include your name in the data bank. Sir, how is that, sir? You need to file an application to this IICA people and they will add your name in the data bank. Correct? Okay, sir. Next one. The once people, you will be filing an application. A person whose name is included in the data bank shall file an application for renewal. So your renewal period will be, people, 1 year, 5 year, or you can even file for lifetime. That is also possible. Okay, sir. Now, once my name is included in this data bank, what should I do? People, once your name is included, every individual whose name is so included shall pass an online proficiency self-assessment test. Once your name is included, you guys need to pass one test called as online proficiency self-assessment test, conducted by this institute within a period of 2 years from my name being included in the data bank. So my name first will be added off in the data bank. Once my name is added, I need to clear this exam within a period of 2 years. Now, sir, what is the, see, you need to get 50% in marks and all. That is like, okay. Now, what is this amendment, people? They have amended here. This is where the amendment is. Now, what is that, sir? Sir, what if my name is added in the data bank and I was not able to clear the exam within 2 years? People, what happens? Your name will be removed. Sir, how can they remove like that? Can I reapply? Yes, people, you can reapply. Provided once you reapply, your name will be restored. But people, it will be shown as a separate category. It will be shown in a separate restored category for a period of 1 year. So you will have again 1 year time, people, to clear. So imagine you paid a fees of 5 years for the enrollment of your name. So I paid 5 years. Now within 2 years, I could not clear. My name will be removed. Now, sir, what they are telling you, there will be one more report maintained. In that report, people, that is, if you are not able to clear, in that report, 1 year, my name will come. Sir, even in that 1 year, if I am not able to clear, people, your name will be removed. And if you want to again continue your name, you need to again apply fresh again to IICA to add your name back. Sir, and you are telling that this 1 year, 5 year and all, what is that, sir? Every year I need to write exam. No, people. Your validity of name is 1 year, 5 year in the institute. Once you clear the exam, that is sufficient. After that, to your name to be reflecting in this particular data bank, you need to keep on renewing your application. That's all. But as long as you have cleared once, that is sufficient. This amendment is only for people who could not clear. Yes, sir. In case if he fails to pass online proficiency self-assessment test within 1 year from the date of restoration, his name shall be removed from the data bank. He shall be required to apply afresh for inclusion of his name in the data bank. Clear? So, sir, every person has to, clear this online proficiency self-assessment test. Initially, yes, everyone had to clear. However, they brought some amendment. What is that, sir? Exemption from online proficiency self-assessment test for inclusion of individual name in independent directors data bank. Meaning, people, I need not clear if at all I am coming in this group. Who am I, people? It will make sense. See here, an individual shall not be required to pass this test when, if at all, he has served for a total period of not less than 3 years. So I have worked at least for 3 years, where as a director or a KMP, as on the date of inclusion in one or more of the following entities. So you should have been a director or KMP, and you should have at least 3 years experience, where in a listed public company, work for Infosys, unlisted public company having paid up share capital in excess of 10 crore or more. For such company, if you are a director or KMP, they are telling you, you need not pass this test. Why, people? We are considering them as seniors. Next one, body corporate listed on any recognized stock exchange outside India, people. Basically, this FEMA we had seen, FATF and ISCO compliant. So if at all you're a director or KMP of any body corporate which is listed outside India, of these compliant, FATF and IOSCO compliant, then also you need not pass this test. Body corporate incorporated outside India having a paid up capital of USD $2 million. People, here I'm talking about listed company. Here I'm talking about unlisted foreign company again. Same thing. Here also listed company, unlisted company with capital. Here also they're telling the same thing. Listed company, unlisted company with US $2 million. Okay. Next one, statutory corporation set up under Act of Parliament or state legislature. So statutory companies. So if you're a director or KMP in listed company, unlisted public company, foreign unlisted with $10 million, $2 million, and your statutory companies. If you're a director or KMP for 3 years, you need not pass the online proficiency self-assessment test. Or if you have worked in a pay scale of director, see, this is the A condition. You have worked as a director or KMP. That is A. Next one you are seeing is B. If you have worked in the pay scale of director or equivalent or above in ministry or department of central government or state government, imagine, people, whatever is the pay scale of a director or equivalent or above in any ministry or department of state government or central government. Yes, sir. For example, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, whatever is that grade, the director or such people there. If you are working in the same pay scale, people, even for you also, this online proficiency self-assessment test is not required. Sir, amendment. They have added few more people who are exempted from that. Why, sir? If you see, people, we are not coming under that exempted list. So now they added something for us, people. What is that? The matters relating to commerce, corporate affairs, finance, industry or public enterprises, or the affairs related to government companies, or if you are working in the pay scale of chief general manager or above in SEBI, RBI, IRDA, PFRDA, or any other authorities having experience in handling the matters relating to corporate laws. Further, the following people are exempted. See here, who has been having 10 years experience in the field of advocacy, chartered accountant, PCA, PCS, PCMA, company secretary shall not be required to pass online proficiency self-assessment test. So director or KMP for 3 years, this one is important. Remember, if you are coming under this list, if you are practicing for 10 years, you need not apply for online proficiency self-assessment test. This is the amendment, people, that they have introduced here. Clear? People, and one more thing in your book, independent director provision, for whom independent director is applicable, in one place, people, I believe here we have written as 50 crore or more. If you remember, independent director applicability, people make this correction. It is exceeding 50 crore, not 50 crore or more. It was a typo. Just make it as 50 crore, exceeding 50 crore, not 50 crore or more. Yes, just remember that one point. Yes, so that was one amendment, people. Next amendment, people, is a Nidhi. Nidhi, there are some important amendments, people. So what is that? Let us see. First one, people, is in Rule 4. Okay, what is that, sir? Let us look at Nidhi. Okay. First amendment, people, is in Rule 4. What is that, sir? People, incorporation and incidental matters. In this, people, a Nidhi shall be a public company having a minimum paid up share capital of, earlier it was 5 lakh. Now people, they have made it as 10 lakh rupees. So make a consequential amendment in your book also. So first there was minimum capital of 5 lakh to start as a Nidhi company. Now they have made it as 10 lakh. Amendment number 1. Okay. Next one, sir. So I'm also showing you in the book, people, where the amendments are being made. Sir, so that is the one. Second one, sir. So 5 lakh has been made 10 lakh. The following provision shall be added. What is that, sir? Sir, for already existing companies, now you are telling a Nidhi company shall have minimum of 10 lakh as paid up capital. For the existing companies, they have started with 5 lakh only, no? So people, for the, the transition stage, people, they have given some timeline. The timeline is, people, 18 months. From the date of commencement of such rules, that is 19th April 2022, they have given people 18 months time. So you have to comply with this within 18 months for the existing companies. This is another amendment. Okay, done, sir. That is rule 4. Next one, people, rule 5. So in rule 5, what is the amendment, sir? Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, people, in rule 5, the provision of this rule shall not be applicable for the companies incorporated as Nidhi on or after the commencement of Nidhi amendment. Sir, what is this, sir? People, before that, there was some rule 5. What is that? Requirement for minimum number of members or net owned funds. What is this, people? Once a Nidhi is incorporated, they had to comply with rule 5 within a period of 1 year from the date of incorporation. Now they are telling you, people, from the commencement of this amendment rules, they are telling you, people, whoever commences, whoever incorporate after this amendment, that is our April 2022, for them this rule 5 itself is not applicable, it seems. Sir, see, the provision of this rule shall not be applicable for the companies incorporated as Nidhi on or after the commencement of Nidhi Amendment Rules 2022. So this provision is only for the people who are already existing. For the new people, Rule 5 will not be applicable. What is Rule 5? Whatever is the things, net owned funds, that minimum number of members, you need to have it within 1 year of incorporation. That is not applicable. Is it clear? Okay, sir, that is Rule 5. Sir, Rule 6. Sir, what is Rule 6, sir? People, general restrictions or prohibitions. Nidhi could not do certain things. Sir, what are the general restrictions? People, very simple. Acquire another company. So this thing was there. You cannot invest in another company. You cannot, you cannot get the control of another company. You cannot control the composition of board of directors. You remember that? Here, there was something called as, unless it has passed special resolution and you take the approval of regional director. You remember? So people, now what they have done, a Nidhi company restriction cannot acquire or purchase securities of any other company, control the composition of board of directors of any other company. So they cannot invest also, they cannot control the board also, same as before. Provided last time, people, before amendment, if you can pass resolution, special resolution in the general meeting, and if you obtain regional director's approval, you could have done it. Now they have removed this part. Whatever is the approval, now even if you take regional director, there is no, it is an absolute prohibition. You cannot do it at all. That's the amendment. Yes, sir. Okay. So next one, they have added one more prohibition. What is that, people? In the same thing, in the same rule, people, they have added L point. What is that? They cannot raise loans from banks or financial institutions or any other source for the purpose of advancing loans to the members of Nidhi. Meaning, sir, they are telling you, a Nidhi company cannot borrow money from any other financial institutions or banks, and that money cannot be given to the members. You cannot use it like that. It is not allowed. That is what is the amendment. Clear? Okay, that is one amendment. Sir, next one, sir, Rule 8. Now, what is this, sir? Rule 8. Sir, membership. If you want to be a member of Nidhi, sir, yes, sir. A member, see, we had, where is our, a member, they have inserted a new rule, people. What is that? A member shall not transfer more than 50% of his shareholding as on the date of availing the loan or making of deposit during the subsistence of such loan or deposit, as the case may be, provided the member shall retain the minimum number of shares required under sub rule 3 of rule 7 at all times. Now, what is that, sir? People, they are telling you, when you are a member, Yes, sir. You are eligible to borrow loan from Nidhi. Yes, sir. Imagine you have borrowed loan. Sir, have you repaid? No, sir. I'm yet to repay. The loan is still subsisting. They're telling you as long as the loan is still subsisting. Now imagine I was holding, say for example, 2,200 worth shares in the company. I had 2,200 worth shares in the company. They're telling you people as long as your loan is subsisting, you cannot reduce your shareholding for more than 50%. So, sir, the maximum I can reduce is 1,100. Sir, what if my shareholding was 1,800 before I took loan? People, once you took loan, you can reduce your maximum shareholding not more than 50%. So in this case, how much I can reduce, people? Yes, sir, 900. Sir, provided people do not forget one thing. In Rule 7, there was something called as minimum shareholding a person should always have. What is that, people? If you remember, at any given point of time, a deposit holder shall at least hold minimum 10 equity shares corresponding to 100 rupees paid up. Sir, now what do you mean by that, sir? Imagine, people, I was holding 150 rupees worth share. I cannot reduce more than 50%. So, sir, can I make my shareholding 80 rupees? Is it allowed? They're telling you no, people, because a minimum shareholding you need to have is always 100. No, your shareholding should not go beyond that. It should not go below that. That condition you have to keep in mind. That is what they have given you here under provided. I hope this is clear. So when you have a subsisting loan, you cannot reduce more than 50%, and you need to keep in mind that what is the minimum subscription. You need to always keep it in mind. That is one thing, remember. Okay. Next one, sir. People, next one is again in Rule 9 only. What is that? Every Nidhi shall maintain a net owned fund of not less than 10 lakh rupees. It was 10 lakh rupees, people. Now they have said it is 20 lakh rupees. Yes, sir. For existing companies, they have given 18 months time. Net owned funds they have made from 10 lakh to 20 lakh. Remember, Nidhi is important, people. Remember and go. They can play here with MCQs because newly introduced, right? So it is important. Remember and go. Okay, sir. This we saw 18 months. Sir, next one, sir. In rule 14, people, unencumbered term deposits. If you remember there, people, if at all you want to do the temporary withdrawal, if you wanted to make the temporary withdrawal, if you remember in Rule 14, they are telling you, people, the prior approval of regional director you should have made. How they had not given, now they are telling you just file form NDH2 for the prior approval of regional director. That's all. This was already there. They have added the blue part. Yes, sir. Just remember that. Next one, people. All these are simple ones, people. A Nidhi shall provide loans only to its members. They have added this one under A. What is that? Provided if at all there are joint shareholders. In such case, people, whosoever names appear first, sir, for him we will give you the loan. Joint holders, I hope you know, shareholding in the same 3 people holding one account. In such case, whoever name comes first, for him we will give the loan is what is they are saying. Yes, sir, that is the amendment 15. So next one, sir. People, this is important, people. Rule 18 is important. Nothing, people, no changes and all. They just removed some content. What is that, sir? A Nidhi shall not declare dividend exceeding 25%. Sir, what if I wanted to give more than 25% dividend? People, you had to take regional director's approval and you had to transfer equal amount to reserve, no default in repayment. You should have complied with all the rules. People, from here to here, they have removed everything. So now it's simple, people. No matter what, you cannot declare dividend more than 25%. That is what is the ultimate. That's all. No approval, nothing. They have removed this part. Clear? This is the amendment. It's clear, all of you? People, wantedly, I'm taking time and I'm showing you where exactly the changes are made so that it will be easy for you to make the consequential changes. Is this clear, all of you? Okay, sir. People, that is your Nidhi, people. Yes. Okay. Okay, I close that file. People, there is one more thing, people. Remember this one thing. In appointment and qualification of director, that is your chapter 1 only. In that, people, remember one thing. What is that? For these two things, one thing they have added. What is that, people? See, during COVID time, I hope you remember, we were getting some unauthorized investments from China. Now, India wanted to stop that. But we cannot use China's name outrightly the way we use Pakistan's name. Because obviously, we have heavy dependency on this particular country. So, what did India do, people? From China investors or China government, indirectly coming into India, they wanted to stop that. So India brought one amendment in FEMA policies. What is amendment, people? Whenever there is any investment that happens from China to India, I mean, that was the intention. Now, how did they portray that people to stop? They said any country which shares the land border with India. So we have a connected land border. They said if they want to invest money into India, you need to do it after taking a prior approval of central government. So land border people, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Pakistan, already we are all covered with them. So indirectly we wanted to attack China. So we could not say directly. We said whoever shares land border with us, they cannot make investment without prior approval of central government. This was one amendment. Okay. Sir, how was it related to directors chapter? Now they said people, if any person who wants to come from any country with whom India shares the land border, they cannot come without central government approval, even if you want to become a director or if you want to hold DIN. Now that is the amendment which is relevant here. See here. Of a country which shares land border with India, a person seeking appointment is a national of the country. Then people, necessary security clearance from Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India shall also be attached along with the consent. You should get a clearance. The same thing is even for DIN. Yes, sir. Remember that, people. This will come in your first chapter. Appointment of director. Okay, sir. Data bank we saw. Independent director. Yes, sir. Sir, SEBI LODR regulation 3. Very simple, people. The first part itself they have changed. That's all. People see the applicability of LODR, people. Here they have changed. What is that? In the class only I told you, people. What is that? See, in the class only we had written. There was something called as institutional trading platform. LODR is applicable to those securities which are listed on innovators institutional trading platform. Now we call it as innovators growth platform. Now they have also made the change. They've removed that and they've introduced innovators growth platform. And people, they use these securities, non-convertible debt, non-convertible redeemable, perpetual debt instruments. So there were too many types of shares they had given. Now they have just combinedly called it as non-convertible securities. So under that, non-convertible debt will come, non-convertible preference will come. So just simplified. And next one, sir. So next one, they have introduced people here. They have added content. What is that, sir? They have added people. Once this is applicable, it will continue to apply even if they do not meet these requirements. The provision of these regulations, which become applicable to listed entities on the basis of market capitalization criteria, shall continue to apply such entities even if they fall below such thresholds. So in this provision, wherever we are telling based on this, now, for example, say a risk management committee, it is applicable to top 1000 listed entities based on market capitalization. They are telling you once it is applicable, even if they fall below that, it will still be applicable, it seems. That is what they are saying. Here, so this is one amendment, people. Okay. So that is one definition amendment. So non-convertible, okay. Next one, people, ignorable one, people. Under audit committee, people, they have added people under audit committee, people, we used to write that independent directors, there shall be 2/3 of independent directors minimum. Now they have written, people, before they have added at least 2/3. Indirectly we used to write just 2/3, people. Now they have added the word at least 2/3. People, risk management committee, they have added people big things and all. We have already covered this in the class. So this is already done. Yes, sir, there's one thing important, keep it in mind. Risk management committee we already done. In the class only I've given you the updated list also. Updated notes also. That is sufficient, more than sufficient. Just follow that. Okay. Risk management committee. Yes, sir. This is done. And one more thing, people, in audit committee, what used to happen? I mean, I don't know whether we should do this also or not. In audit committee, we used to write people he. Now they have said people he includes she. That's all. That's the amendment. So we used to write it as he. He shall be appointed as a, he shall appoint he shall attend all the meetings of audit committee. The chairman of the audit committee shall attend all the meetings of general meeting. Now they have said he will include she. That's the only amendment there. See, this here they have added at least. That's all. This I believe I have told you. Nomination remuneration committee, earlier it was at least 50%. Now they have made it as 2/3. So the total number of independent directors in nomination remuneration committee shall be now people 2/3 and not 50%. So that just that one thing remember. Yes, okay. So this is it, people, from your LODR point of view. And the next one, let us go to ECB. Will come back. First, let us do it of what is that? Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. Here some important ones have been given, people. This is a little important only. So try to remember. Yes, sir. So people, if you remember earlier, people, foreign contribution. Okay, let us go to that only. Our file. Okay. Sir, what is this, sir? People, earlier, people, what is the maximum amount you could collect from relatives, people? You remember what was the limit from relatives? Earlier, people, the limit was, if you remember this, 1 lakh rupees. The amount you can collect from your relative people, if you remember, as foreign contribution was 1 lakh. Now they said 1 lakh is nowhere sufficient today's data. So now they have made it, people, a 10 lakh rupees, people, in a financial year. So you can collect that much from relatives without following any condition and all. That is absolutely allowed. Yes, sir. Equivalent thereto in a financial year from any of his relatives shall inform the government by uploading details electronically online in form FCV1. People, it was 30 days. Now they have made it 3 months. So this is also an amendment. This is also an amendment. So earlier it was 1 lakh, people. Now they have made it 10 lakh. Earlier it was within 30 days. Now they have made it 3 months. This is the amendment number 1. Remember, important. Next one, people. There is section 32. Actually, what happened is I had prepared one amendment sheet, the main from the institute, that because my system crashed, that sheet itself went. So now because of the timeline, again, I had to do it from the actual sheet itself. That's the reason I lost that whatever is the main procedure format. Yes, people, next one, people, under section 32, there is something called as revision of orders by central government. Sir, what is this, sir? So whenever you have applied for any registration license, people, and if at all it is rejected and all, we used to file something called as revision orders. Now, people, under that they have given something. What is it, people? Here there was something called as on plain paper. What is it, sir? Whenever you are applying for revision of an order passed by competent authority under section 32, you can make a revision order to the Secretary, Ministry of Home Affairs, New Delhi, on a plain paper. So if you want to ask for the revision order, people, if you wanted to file it under section 32, they were saying that on a plain paper. Now, people, they have said in such form and manner, including an electronic form, you can make it, that is allowed. So instead of plain paper, they've added even in electronic form, you can make it allowed. That is the only amendment they have done. That's absolutely negligible. Okay, next one, sir. People, they have added some FAQs. Yes, sir. What is that? With regards to this revision, see what they have asked. Who is eligible to submit revision application? Sir, who is eligible? So my license thing is rejected. My registration is rejected. Who can file for revision? Any person who is registered under FCRA and rules made thereunder and is agreed of an order passed by central government may prefer revision application. So it can be any person, provided you should be registered. How can an association file an application for revision of an order passed by competent authority? An application for revision shall be made to the Secretary, Ministry of Home Affairs of Government India in electronic form. We just saw. So you have to make it to Secretary, Ministry of Home Affairs. Can revision application be sent through physical mode? Now going forward, absolutely no, people. 15th August 2022 amendment, no physical method. What is the procedure for association to file an application for revision? Sir, any organization who wants to file an application for revision, people, can do by uploading a scanned copy on FCRA portal. I told you electronic mode only. That is how it is the only way. There is no other way. Is it required to send a physical copy also? There is no need to send physical copy. Only online method is sufficient. Is there any other format? Any format of revision application? No, people. You just give a scanned copy of duly signed application. That is absolutely sufficient and nothing else required. There is no format prescribed. Is applicant required to submit justification for revision of order? Yes. Why do you want me to consider your request for revision of application? I had rejected your application. Now, why should I reconsider? You have to give a justification. What is the fee for making an application? 3,000 rupees. We have already seen this also. What is the time limit for making an application for revision? The application must be made within 1 year from the date on which the order in question was communicated. So within 1 year from the date on which order in question was communicated, or the date on which it otherwise came to know of it, whichever is earlier. So sir, within 1 year from when it was communicated, or whenever you got to know, whichever is earlier, you need to make sure you need to file a revision application. So that's all, people. In your FCRA, these are the amendments. So remember and go. FCRA is important. Yes, sir. And the rest of it is like absolutely fine, people. One they have given under what is that? FEMA. Basically, you have, what is the amendment is in our material, people, under part D, basically the export part. In the export part, there is an amendment, people. Yes, sir. What is the amendment, people, in export part? See here. Yes, people, see here. Foreign Exchange Management Act. Under the export of goods and services, people, I believe by now you guys know that LIBOR. With regards to LIBOR, people, what used to happen, I believe you guys know. I'm not going to go in detail about LIBOR, but people, everywhere we used to give reference to LIBOR. Now, whenever we have to charge any interest, whenever we have to charge any cost, we used to always keep LIBOR as our base. You know, on that, people, we always used to have a spread, basically our profit. LIBOR was always taken as our base, people, a standard. Yes, sir. Basically, you can LIBOR was what? London interbank offer rate. Now, what is that, people? Whatever is the rate at which the banks in London, they borrow money from each other. So what used to happen, people? I'll tell you in short. So there are banks, people. Imagine there are 18 banks. The top 18 banks will be selected. From the top 18 banks, they will say, what is the rate at which you're giving loan today? Every day this will be done. So one association will collect the rate of interest from the top 18 banks, people, and every day at around 11 a.m. they will tell what is the average rate of LIBOR at which the top 18 banks are lending loans today. So they'll come at an average price. Now what used to happen, people? That is how they used to derive LIBOR. Now what happened? The top 18 banks, eventually what happened? Imagine the top 18 banks, if at all that day, if they wanted to borrow money, every day they will give. If they wanted to borrow money, they used to quote the interest less. If they wanted to give money, they used to quote the interest more. So people, over a period of time, these associations have gained money in trillions of dollars, not even millions or billions. So now what we are doing, people, we are moving away from LIBOR as our base, a standard, of quoting as a standard. Now what we are doing, people, wherever it is possible, we are trying to come out of LIBOR and we are telling follow such other rate. Now that is what is the effectual amendment that has happened. See here. Now one is in export. You can see under advance payment against exports. There we used to say the rate of interest, if any payable on advance payment, does not exceed the rate of interest under LIBOR plus 100 basic points. That is what we used to say. Now they have put, people, LIBOR or other applicable benchmark as may be directed by Reserve Bank. So now no longer we will follow LIBOR. They are telling if any other benchmark is said, we will follow that. That is one thing they have added. The same consequential amendment, people, has happened even in your external commercial borrowing, ECB. Yes, people. So if you remember in this ECB, people, we had something called as this all-in cost ceiling per annum. All-in cost ceiling per annum is benchmark rate plus 450 BPS spread. If you see here, benchmark rate in case of foreign currency ECB is 6 months LIBOR plus 4.5%. Can you see that? The example G securities yield plus 4.5%, above that there is something called benchmark rate in case of foreign currency ECB, 6 months LIBOR plus 4.5%. People, this part, people, now see what they are saying. External commercial borrowing, trade credits and structured obligations prescribing benchmark rate and the maximum spread over benchmark for calculating all-in cost for foreign currency ECB and your trade credits. For this, see, in view of the imminent discontinuance of LIBOR as a benchmark rate, following changes to the all-in cost benchmark and ceiling for foreign currency ECBs are made. What is that? Redefining benchmark rate for foreign currency ECB. Currently, the benchmark rate is defined in paragraph 1.1. Okay, benchmark rate in case of refers to 6 months LIBOR rate of different currencies or any other 6 months international currency. Henceforth, benchmark rate in case of foreign currency, external commercial borrowing or trade credit shall refer to any widely accepted interbank rate or alternative reference rate of 6 months tenor applicable to the currency of borrowing. Earlier we used to call 6 months LIBOR. Now we are going to call it from here. What is that? Henceforth, from here it is amendment. Benchmark rate in case of foreign currency ECB or trade credit shall refer to a widely accepted interbank rate of alternative reference rate or alternate reference rate of the 6 months tenure. Whatever the alternate things we are using, so that ARR, that 6 months tenure ARR will be considered as benchmark. Yes, sir. Sir, change in all cost ceiling for new ECBs to take into account the differences in credit risk and the term premium between LIBOR and the ARR, all-in cost ceiling for the new foreign currency ECBs and TCs has been increased by 50 BPS to 500 BPS. What is that, people? So earlier, what happened, people? We used to follow LIBOR plus 450 basic points. No. Now they are telling you, because they have changed this to accommodate that risk, people, they have increased this by 50 BPS. So now they are telling you ARR plus 500 BPS, foreign currency ECBs. So if at all you are doing trade credits, which was not there for us, now they have made it as 300 BPS. Earlier it was 250. Sir, what about existing people? For them, people, if you are already existing, in such case, people, they have increased it by 100 points. So they have made it as ARR plus already existing people, they have made it as 550 and 350 as the case may be. For ECB, this is for trade credits. Simple, people, this is what is given in people, your ECB provision. So with regards to LIBOR, these are the only amendments. So mark that change in your book. That is the only thing. Yes, and the next one, people, a minor change in, what do you say? Insolvency and bankruptcy code, people. Absolutely minor. So there are two things that has been changed in insolvency and bankruptcy code. People, under committee of creditors, people, there was a meeting. People, what is that? So people, they have added one thing, people. What is that? First one, it was there. When to conduct the meeting of creditors? First one, people, whenever the resolution professional wants, he can conduct. Second one, people, when a resolution professional may convene a meeting, if he considers necessary, a request is made by 33% of the people of committee of creditors. That one we saw. They've added this, people. A resolution professional may place the proposal received, meaning the first two were like asking for a meeting. People, this one they are telling you, a resolution professional, he got a resolution only. They are not asking to conduct a meeting, but they are telling you what to be presented in the meeting. And who is giving this what to be presented? Basically, who is giving this resolution? Again, the same thing, 33% of the people having the voting rights. Now, if they are giving, people, he will take the resolution that will be presented in the meeting. That is also allowed. That is one extra thing they've added, and they've added this, people. For the purpose of subregulation 2, it is clarified that the meetings may be convened under this subregulation till the resolution plan is approved under subsection 1 of section 31 or order for liquidation is passed under section 33 and decide on matters which do not affect the resolution plan submitted before the adjudicating authority. Meaning people, these meetings can be conducted until this resolution plan is approved or it goes into liquidation. Until then people, these meetings can continue. There is absolutely no change. This is one amendment people, a small amendment, nothing else is there. That is in insolvency bankruptcy code. And there is one more thing people, in part D, it is given in people your liquidator. See people, replacement of liquidator. Here people, the corporate person may replace the liquidator by appointing another insolvency professional as liquidator by passing a special resolution. Such insolvency professional shall within 3 days intimate IBBA about such appointment. Now they have made 3 as 7 days. So whenever you are replacing the liquidator, you need to intimate IBBI within 7 days people. People, this is your overall amendments of the entire corporate and economic laws. I hope I have clarified all of this people. If you guys have any doubt, please feel free to reach out. I wish you guys all the best. Pay more attention towards ODI. Pay more attention towards Nidhi rules. Pay more attention towards FCRA. These 3 are main people, and the rest and all are manageable. From your MCQ point of view, these will play more major role. So that's it from my end people. Thank you so much. See you. Bye bye.